Well, hello and welcome to all of our viewers here. I'm Fiona Langsharp, IBCLC Director of Communications and MC here at Gold Learning. Well, today we are here with Annie Frisbie. She is going to be speaking at our upcoming Gold Lactation Conference 2020. Can't believe that we're here already, but it's absolutely fantastic. Now, the exciting thing that we're having this year are interactive sessions. This is where you get to interact with the speakers on their topics, and Annie's is going to be Ask the Expert, and I'll get her to tell you a little bit about what she's going to be talking about. But I want you to be sure that you get all the information ahead of time. So there's some great content that you can review ahead of time. You can get your questions into Annie, and it's all on our website right now. So you can go to our website at goldlactation.com and click on the delegates dashboard where you'll see a big icon that says interactive sessions. You can also find it on the menu on the left as well. But click in there and then you can go right over. And as I'm looking at it right now, you'll see that we actually have four presenters that are going to be there. And Annie's got her own section. She's going to be speaking live on April 29th. So you definitely want to mark that on your calendar because this session is going to be interactive and full on where you can really engage with her. So Annie's going to be talking about Ask the Expert best practices for intake, documentation, and reporting. So how hot a topic is that? I mean, I feel like Annie, you're like the goddess of this topic right now. I mean, I love your stuff. I love you. And we couldn't have thought of a better person to have to talk about this. But really, how did this all come about for you? Is this something that you studied early on and that you had, everything all together in this area? Tell us about that.
So I, kind of got into it because I'm super, I guess, like really interested in what you can do with computers. And I love anything that's like a new toy to play with, a new like software or program or application. I don't actually want to build them. I just want to take
Yeah.
ones that somebody else built and I want to figure out what they can do. And something that I've always been interested just my whole life. I was a really early adopter for internet stuff. You could have found me on prodigy.net message boards back in the day. My username was Molly Millions, which is a character from William Gibson's Neuromancer. And if anybody
Oh,
knows what
amazing.
any of that means, you know exactly who I am. So with doing lactation, it was as these kind of new paperless charting systems and electronic platforms were coming out and being made available for individual private practice, I
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, that sounds fun. I want to play with them." And I would play
Hmm.
with one, and I would say, "Oh, but there's another one. I could play with that one too." And there was like so many to play with. And as I was working through them, I was seeing how they all did something different. They all had their strengths and weaknesses. They all had areas where you could customize and make it your own, and they all had places where you were kind of going to be limited. And that was what really fed into my desire to actually write all this down for everybody and go through
Wow.
and just kind of figure out the process and help
Sure.
other people understand it who aren't as willing to experiment and click around and try things the way I am.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, we love you because of this, and I know that you've become an expert in this field. And it's been wonderful to see you grow and learn. I mean, I know we're all learning together at some stage as well. Tell us what we should expect now from this interactive session at Gold that we're all very excited about.
Yeah, I've got a lot of questions prepared in advance to get you thinking about what I see are the key areas of our responsibility for basically keeping records about our clients
Hmm.
and getting that information to the right place, whether that is stored for you to have access to in the future, to
Hmm.
the client for them to take care of themselves and meet their own goals, and also to the other members of the healthcare team who need to be brought in as needed when things move outside of your scope of practice. For me, I'm an IBCLC, so that's my scope of practice. I am often needing to bring in other professionals, and when I do, I want them to be able to know what I've seen, why I'm talking to them, and theoretically build a relationship with them where we can then collaborate with future on future clients, future cases. So getting all this done is it's real that it can contribute to provider burnout, and that's something that we see
Ah,
reported on a lot with doctors, especially saying they're finding these, charting and documentation to be really onerous. And
mhm,
that have also seen that happening with I work mostly with private practice lactation consultants, so those are the people I'm hearing from the most. But I am hearing from you that this is hard, and it's something where
mhm.
you're feeling like I'm cutting corners, or I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm doing too much, or who even cares, and why is this even a thing? And so what I'm hoping in this interactive session is that we can actually have a conversation about these things. So it's not really going to be, I mean, you know, it's not really me coming down and saying like, okay, do X, Y, and Z, and you will do it right, because
Mhm.
that's not who I am, and that's not how I would talk to my lactation clients, and it's certainly not what
Sure.
I expect from you. I want hoping that by giving you some ideas, guiding the conversation, and watching all of you share from your experiences, that each delegate who attends is going to come away with ideas that you can implement in your own practice setting,
Mhm.
wherever that is, and for whatever you need to do. Help yourself feel great about the things that are going well for you,
Phew.
and feel inspired to move forward on the things that maybe where you're feeling like, oh, I could do a little better there.
Well, you're filling me up right now. I'm like, wow, this is exactly what I need. And honestly, I find for me personally, and maybe those folks who are listening right now, you could put comments below as well and let us know some of your thoughts. But, I find that documentation as a whole is very distracting. I can get bogged down with it. I use tools for a while, then I feel like it's sort of almost like they run their course, but I haven't figured that out, that I've outgrown them or things like that. So, I hope we get a chance to talk about those things. Is that like a common thing that happens too, Annie?
Oh, absolutely. And
Oh, I'm not
it,
alone.
no, and I mean, it happens to me too. I mean, one thing, I guess, like, one notion I'd like to disabuse anyone of is that I have come up with the perfect system, and that my my stuff is not perfect by any
Right,
stretch. And I've got places where I'm like, I wrote just, like, had to chart on a napkin one time because my iPad was dead and I didn't have a charger, and I didn't have a notebook or a pen in my bag. And so
right.
I literally, like, was like, "Do you have a pen?" And then I grabbed a napkin
Oh,
that was sitting right there, and I wrote everything down like that, and I took it home. And so it's all real. Like, we're,
right.
and perfection, and in the tech world, what they call like productivity, and just like getting to some next level, is not really the goal here. The goal is effective care for the families
Mhm.
that are coming to us for help. And
Right.
that's the guiding principle that I'm going to bring to this, because that's where you're going to feel equipped to make the right decisions, and find where you can be efficient, and find where you need to improve.
Yeah, so I think what I'm hearing you say now, I've had a little preview of what's coming up, of course, in our interactive sessions, but I think what I hear you saying is sort of get connected ahead of time, fill out the interactive forms that we have for you, so do a little bit of homework. It'll give you a better idea of kind of where you're personally at. So I'm actually going to do this for myself because I find these interactive sessions are probably my biggest learning. That'll happen with collaborative folks, right? I mean, that's what we do together. So get that done, check.
Yep.
And then when I come to the sessions, engage and answer the questions. You're going to do some polls. But the idea is that we're going to reflect on each other's work and what we know and why and how and all those types of elements as well. Correct?
Yeah, definitely. That's
All right, great.
I can't wait to hear what people are going to bring to
Yeah,
this. You're like, I know I'm going to go away with some new insight, that way of thinking of things that I hadn't thought of before. And that's what I
yeah.
love about hearing talking about this with other people, because it's such a process, and it's great to do it in community.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that we learn better when we're collaboratively working together. And I think it's just sometimes we don't take the time. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take the time. We're going to come together. It's going to be absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much. It's always great talking with you. I have to say, you are a woman after my own heart. And, I can't wait to spend that time with you again and with all of our delegates from Gold. It's going to be really great learning from each other, hearing some of the things that are tried and true and some of the things that seem to fizzle out really quickly. Don't waste your time type of scenarios as well. It's going to be really great because everyone's looking to save time when it comes to these types of things as well. All right. Well, thank you so much, Annie. It's been great chatting with you. And just a quick reminder, Annie's going to be with us live on April 29th. So come and join us on that day. It's going to be a great interactive day, and we're going to learn together. We're going to grow together. And you can go to the website right now on goldlactation.com, click on that delegates dashboard for the interactive sessions, and you'll see all of our presenters have actually got you some homework to do for that session. You can come prepared and be ready to learn at an even higher level. So that's going to be fantastic. Thanks again for joining us today, and we'll chat to all of you very soon. Bye bye, everyone.